Hey guys, years ago I was choir director at our church. In fact, I was choir director for many, many years. We had a small choir, but they sounded absolutely gorgeous. Hardly anybody in the choir could read music or had any musical background or training, but we would rehearse and rehearse and rehearse and memorize and memorize and memorize until everybody had all the notes and all the words just right. They were just gorgeous. It was a lovely, lovely choir, and we usually did big productions at Easter and at Christmas. And I mean, the whole thing, plays and cantatas and the staging and everything. It was just absolutely gorgeous. It was a wonderful time in my life. We had a young man in the choir that, bless his heart, I had worked with him in the youth. I had watched him grow up into a young teenager and then a young man. And I just loved him. And he and his family were a huge part of our church and a huge part of my world. And bless his heart, he could not sing at all. I mean, he could not carry a note. Every note that he sang was the same note, the same tone. And he would sing pretty loudly. So when we would do special numbers, you could tell that people were hearing him and they knew that he was off. And they'd all look at me like, Kat, why don't you do something? He's in our choir and he's messing everything up. And so what I did is I would stand him in between two of our strongest singers, and I would tell them to sing really loud. And then as we were practicing, I would tell all the choir members, if you can hear yourself, if you can hear your voice more than you can hear the others around you, then you're singing too loud. And so basically we got him to realize that he was singing too loud, but I never said anything about him not being able to sing. So, people ask me all along, why did I allow him to sing in the choir? And I told them, I said, he's using his talent. And who's to say that we decide what is a joyful noise to the God that we serve? Years later, in fact, the last probably 5 years, he found me on Facebook, and we visited and caught up, and he is still a wonderful, wonderful man that I love. He fills my heart. So as we're talking and communicating on Facebook, he basically he asked me. He says, Kat, he said, my sister says that in all the years that I sang in the choir, that I can't sing. And I told her that you would not have let me sing if I could not sing. He said, so I want the truth now. He said, tell me, can I sing? And so I just looked at him and I called him by his name. I said, you cannot carry a tune, not a drop in the bucket. And he just cracked a laugh, and his sense of humor was one of the things that I just loved, loved, loved. And he said, well, Kat, he said, why did you let me sing all those years? And I told him, I said, you brought everyone else such joy and you were making a joyful noise. I said, I would have never, ever stood in the way of your exercising your faith and your joy. Sometimes we think that everything has to be so perfect, that every note has to just be so, or every job that we do, every little task that we do has to be just so, and that everybody else has to match our standards. Did you know that some people can't? Did you know that there are probably some standards that you can't match for others? And why do we do that? See, I would have really changed a lot of his personality, and I would have taken away his joy. Why don't we let people give what they can give, whether it's as perfect as we think it is or not? Just let them give and do what they feel they should be doing. Won't you join me just for this week?